So we really got down to talking about some real stuff in this episode. Let's talk, you guys.
And I'm like, come on through, Corky. I want to pull my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie?
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video. This is my review for Pose. This is season 1, episode 4. And as I said, we got down to some real stuff here. We talked about some health situations, knowing your status versus not knowing your status, versus being afraid to know your status and all that. Well, here's my little PSA, honey. You need to know your status so you know what your next steps are. And there are next steps to take, whether you're positive, negative, or whatever. You need to know what you have going on so you know what your next steps are. So that's it. I mean, it's real cut and dry. Real cut and dry. Is it scary? Sure. It's scary, but you got to get tested. You got to know what's going on with you. And this is not just when it comes to HIV and AIDS. It's with everything. Everything. If there's anything going on in your body or with your body, you know when you don't feel your best. You know when you don't feel like you. Nobody knows better than you when you don't feel like you. You need to go and see what's going on. Early detection of whatever it is the key to everything. Early detection is why I'm actually sitting right here. Early detection of cancer, and we got it under control. Had I not did what I need to do, I would not be talking to you now. I'd be somebody they're talking about that they used to know. So I'm telling you, early detection is the key to handling whatever it is that's going on. And like I said, is it scary? Yes, it's always scary not to know what's going on and sitting around knowing in the back of your mind that something is probably going on. And it ain't probably. When you don't feel like you, there's something going on. Your body is the biggest telltale that you have. It'll tell you right away that something is actually going on. So that's it. I'm done preaching. Early detection. Scary, yes. Necessary, absolutely. Now let's go on and talk about Pose. All right, so category is, they get into one, honey. Luscious femme queen body. And I remember these days when this was a category and it was like, all right, honey, it's time for the big girls, honey. It wasn't about, the slender model girls. This is not their category, baby. This is not their category. This is the T.S. Madison type of girl categories. The get them titties bouncing and shaking that ass and bodies that are not society says perfect, with the dimples in your ass and all the jiggling. This is those girls. This is their category, baby. Well, Miss Candy, it's the little brown skin queen from the House of Abundance. She wants to be a part of that category. But remember, Miss Candy is a stick figure. She is that girl. Her and Angel, they are those model-esque, statuesque girls, which a lot of times on the other side, but that's just life. Everybody wants what they don't have. It's just who we are as creatures. Everybody wants what they don't have. The bald-headed bitch wants to have long hair. The long-haired bitch want to be bald-headed. It's just the way it is. But Angel and Miss Candy have this whole insecurity thing going on. They want hips and titties and all of this. And I'm like, girl, and a lot of these girls have learned to love what they have going on, but they would die to have those stick figure bodies. You know what I mean? To be able to walk in and buy a women's size 4 or 6 off of the rack and then pump down Madison Avenue, honey, give it. They would love to be able to experience that. Everybody wants what they don't have. So Miss Candy jumps her ass up after Electra already told her, bitch, I'm the mother for a reason. I'm your mother because I know when and I know when not. And you skinny bitch, this is the when not. But she didn't listen like our kids don't. They don't listen. Maybe I can tell you stories. They never listen. They never listen. That's why they're the kids. They don't listen. They go and they have to learn the hard lesson. She took her ass out on that floor, baby, and pray tell, read her ass to the ground. And her face was so completely cracked. And it was given, girl, what are you doing, honey? This is the lobster category, honey, not fish sticks. That ain't what he said. That's my shit. But this is, honey, you're serving fish sticks, honey, and we're looking for full lobsters, honey. What are you giving? Get on out of here, Miss Candy, honey. And she tried to cuss him out, and baby, he gave her, girl, get on out of here, bitch. Ridiculous. And of course, she was chopped and all of that. And actually, we're watching Pose. This was back in the day before Chop actually really came into play. Because now the ballroom is much more difficult. You know how they do all these 9s and 6s and all of this in the 10s? That's not part of ballroom culture anymore. Ballroom culture is straight, it's cutthroat, baby. It's 10s or no. And one chop, you can have 7 judges, 5 judges, it don't matter. One chop, bitch, you're done. So it could be one bitch that doesn't agree, you're done. And the rest can think that you absolutely turned it. That's where a lot of the fighting takes place in the ballroom and all of the animosity. And, where the shade takes another form and it gets violent because you spent this money and this time preparing yourself. And there's a bitch on the panel who literally just doesn't like you. And she gets you, and she gathers you, and she gets you together. And it's allowed. I don't know where that actually came from. I don't know where that actually started. I really don't. I think it's horrible, and I've always thought it was horrible because it really is like that, and it really does go down like that. More times than not. One bitch. You might have tore her ass up, and y'all walked against each other, and you tore her up. Could be, it's always outside forces. A lot of time they have to do with a man. A wayward dick is in the midst of the shit, honey. That's when it really gets physical, bitch. And then it gets physical, and then it's house against house, and it's a whole mess. That's some of the bad of ballroom culture, but it is what it is. Nobody ever said life was fair, honey, and trust me when I tell you the gays are hard, honey. They're hard to please, and they can be mean. Anyway, pageants and balls, honey. Pageants and balls. Some of the worst places that you'll ever hang out. But anyway, moving on. So Miss Angel actually goes and talks to Miss Candy. And Miss Candy's like, oh, so now you want to come rub it in my face, this, that, and the other. She's like, bitch, what are you giving? She's like, girl, just because we're in different houses now doesn't mean that I can't come and console you, that I can't relate to what happens out on that damn ballroom floor. Like, girl, get over that shit. That's, you talking that old abundance versus, abundance versus our house shit. And I'm not even there. Like, I'm not even there. I don't even care. This is not about Evangelista and about abundance. This is about girl on girl. Like, girl, I know the struggle. I know what you're talking about. So they got to talking, and baby, that's when they said, she says, girl, I know somebody, honey, for the girls who want body, honey, I know where to go. So the two of them get together, baby, and they go and they see, we're going to call her, because they're all black market, but we'll call her she's a back alley. She's pretty much, I'll call the first woman was pretty much black market. She worked for a doctor, a reputable doctor, and she's doing her own thing on the side. Okay? And she's pumping the girls. And for her titties and her hips, it was going to be $1,000. And she was like, girl, she's like, $1,000? She's like, yeah, bitch. And now remember, this is back in '87. She's like, yeah, bitch. And she's like, well, we're to 87, 88. So we're probably up, and the show's probably up, we're probably up into like 1988 now. But she's like, yeah, girl, She's like, what do you want, real silicone, or you want fix a flat in your ass, girl? You know, I have to be paid for what it is I'm doing, honey. I get my stuff from a real supplier, bitch. And you have to pay. Okay, so that's that. So they didn't get anything done that day. And Angel, for the most part, I think Angel is pretty much, she's just on the cusp of it, and she got a lot of questions, and she's got some fears. She just seen some girls that got bought. They kept talking about Miss Lisa. You know, whoever this queen is, Miss Lisa, and I'm sure she was probably fucked up. Because everybody knows some queen that got fucked up, girl, and looks like Kilimanjaro, honey, when they leave up out of there, fucking around in the back alley with them girls, honey. Anyway, so we got all that going on. And I'm just going to continue talking about Miss Candy, and then we'll bring it all the way back around. So Miss Candy ends up going to another ball, and this time she goes the drag queen route, and she's wearing padding. Now, she got padded like the boy queens do that do the shows, like myself. She got into all this padding, whereas that can go really, really ugly, because if you overpad, you really do look like the back of a couch. And for me, this is what I see a lot of these days. I cannot stand it. I can't stand that whole cushion look. It's like you see a girl who's literally, really the bitch wears a 6 in women's clothes, but she's padded and the bitch is now in a 14. And it just looks crazy to me, but whatever. All I can control is my own image. That's it. You know, when you play the game of like pageants and things, you got to do what they do and the way that they do it. But my own image, Milan Trezor don't do no back of no couch shit. You know, I can't even see it. That shit's crazy. It looks crazy and it looks crazy. You know, the last thing I want to look is fatter than what the fuck I really am. Like, are you kidding? But this is when she come out on the floor, baby. They read her ass down for filth. Told her, now, Miss Candy, girl, here you come again, bitch. Here you come marching your punk ass up in here, trying to be something you're not, bitch. You're not luscious. Baby, you're not luscious, bitch. Goodbye, Bones. Get out of here, girl. We're not serving chicken wings tonight, honey. Beat it, bitch. We're serving chicken breasts. Breasts, bitch. She got so mad. She took her fake titty out, threw it at Bray Tail. He was like, woo, she's mad at it. Hilarious. Read her ass down again, sent her on about her way. I said, oh, poor thing. Poor thing. And then eventually she ends up going, and then we meet this other woman. Now, they should have knew when they seen this bitch not to even fucking indulge, but they did. They go, and now this bitch is totally back alley. And she's bragging about how she gets her goddamn shit and she can keep her price down because she gets her little stuff that she uses. Did she say Honduras? I think she said she got it from Honduras. I was like, don't y'all listen to that bitch? That bitch is getting ready to have y'all looking crazy. But they went on. Yeah, it was Honduras where she got her stuff for cheap. So I get it pennies on the dollar. I said, yes, what you gonna be looking like, honey? A 10-cent fool, honey, when she get done with you. And just the procedure that they were talking about, trying to stop the bleeding with super glue and all this crazy shit. I was like, that's because they actually inject you with needles and they put super glue to close the wound. Super glue, bitch. I'm not sitting nowhere listening to that motherfucker tell me about putting no super glue on my skin, bitch. You do know super glue on your skin will hurt, bitch. That shit is ridiculous. If you mistakenly get it on your finger, it burns, bitch. You gonna purposely put that shit on you to close a wound? Oh, that's just fun. That's really fun. No, ma'am. So she goes, gets done. She comes back. She's looking lovely. Goes to another ball, baby. Pray tell gave. Whoa! Miss Candy, yes, bitch. And the bitch was done, baby. Her titties were pushed, baby, hips, ass, and she was ready to go, baby. And that bitch hit that runway and gave the children everything, bitch. And she even had a new $9 piece of hair on. I said, work, bitch. And that bitch gave tens across the board, bitch. She kept on asking, she said, Angel, girls, it hot there to you? They was like, girl, no, it ain't hot. What are you talking about, y'all? It's winter time, bitch. No, it ain't hot, y'all. Baby, she got up there, no hot lights got on that bitch. That bitch was running a fever and shit, bitch. In the middle of her doing that, baby, that bitch ended up sprawled out on the floor. They was giving, that's all right, bitch, because you tore the category up. So you start to see some of the immaturity of the ballroom as well. All of this shit going on, and people know this danger that you face, but it's all about these fucking trophies. Ridiculous. Again, like I said, the ballroom's not all good. It's not all bad, but it's not all good. There's some crazy shit that don't make any sense. All about the approval of some freaks that could care less about you, child. But anyway, so her ass was stretched out on the floor, and then she, in the midst of all of this, she left the house of her brother. She cussed Electra out, told her, bitch, you ain't shit, and fuck you, bitch, and you're not no good mother, bitch. All you do is use us. You done stole our goddamn money, try to get your shit done and all of that, bitch. She cussed her out. She got her together, and she told her, you can't quit when you've already been fired, bitch. I said, oh, girl, she's too much, that Electra, honey. I said, girl, I would shift some of her work, honey. I really would. She would be in the midst of something, and baby, I'd be in, bopped her and knocked her cheek from here to here, bitch. I would get her. She's too much. But anyway, when she fell out, who does she end up with? She ended up with Electra. Her mother went and got her, baby, and Electra. We got to see a very vulnerable side of Electra in this episode, because she's going through, and I'm gonna talk about it in a minute. But she ended up over there with Electra, and they talked, and she told her, we got to see all of the insecurities that she was actually dealing with. It's sad, it's sad. She's like, I hate what I see when I look in the mirror. I hate it. I hate what I see when I look in the mirror. I'm not like you. I can't just walk, well, at that point, I can't just walk, down the street and nobody clocks me and all of that, you know what I mean? But I'm like, girl, okay. Again, everybody wants what they don't have, honey. She's like, I don't have creamy, buttery skin. I do the best I can. And she told her, why would you go that route instead of coming to me? And I could tell you where to go and help you to go and get your work done the proper way. You know what I mean? And she was like, girl, you wouldn't have did that. And then, you know what? And the key on that, Miss Electra, girl, she would have, I don't believe Miss Electra would have really gave her everything she needed, all the information. She'd have held her back because she's a narcissist. So she's like, bitch, I'm not going to make you as bad as me, bitch. It's not going to happen. But again, she don't have the money either. She don't have access to the money that Electra has either. But whatever. So that whole thing. So they've patched up their little situation, and she's actually going to be better. And Electra gave her like some antibiotics and all of these things, that she wouldn't even been able to get hold of to get her ass together. So I was like, all right, cool. So speaking of Electra, let's just go to Electra next. In this episode, we're talking with Electra. Electra, we see her now with her sugar daddy. And they have this whole situation, baby. And he just loves her down. They've been together for like over 10. And she's another one. Her and Miss Angel are about driving me nuts. Because these two whores literally have it going on. As far as the life of a trans girl and what a trans girl wants, and as far as being they are living basically as close at that time as a trans girl was going to get to living lovely, honey, and being kept. These two whores had it going on, but they're both delusional, and it's just not enough. You don't just want to be, they don't want to be a fabulous kept trans woman. They want to be a fabulous kept real cunt is what they really want to be, honey. And it's like, girl, You're not. I mean, it is what it is. You have to tap into the reality of what this is at some point. And you two bitches got it good. But her and Angel both, I was just sitting there on the end of the bed like, I would like to choke both of these whores. Both of these whores, y'all, and that's what they are. Both of you are whores. And you're in a position, bitch, where you are living. Bitch, you're off of the corner. You're out of the back of the bookstore, bitch. You're living, bitch. You have an address. You don't need a job, but you got everything. You got a refrigerator full of food. You got an allowance to shop. You bitch. What do you want? What more do you want? You want a pussy? Well, okay. And that's Electra. Electra's fine with she sees her man here and there and he ain't stuck up underneath her. She don't really want to be the wife. She wants her coochie, honey, and that's all there's to it. And he is not here for it, baby. And she's saying, I know at some point you're going to just, you're going to end up trading me in for a younger model. I know that's going to happen. He's like, why would you think that's going to happen? We've been together over 10 years. Over 10 years. Said, and I'm not for this whole thing. I like you the way I like you. I like my women with a little something extra. It is what it is. And if you take that away, then I don't know where we're going to stand because you're not going to be what my fantasy is anymore. It's going to change who you are to me. And I was like so here for it because he was being honest with it. It's like, Electra, girl, I like you, but girl, I like to be a chick with a dick, honey. And if you get rid of the dick, then girl, you're just a chick and I already got one of them and none. I said, ciao. And again, whatever people's fetishes are, whatever their prowess calls for, or what they don't have to explain it to anyone. It is what it is. I like what I like. He likes a chick with a dick. And girl, it is what it is, honey. Payment for services rendered. Bitch, and then this is my thing. So knowing that, and I do understand to a point, like she says, when she looks in the mirror, she hates what she sees. She hates seeing titties and a dick. So she hates it. I understand that. I really do understand that. And I understand psychologically, I'm sure it does play on your psyche, to be given all that, if you can't actually make peace with it. But girl, if you feel like at some point you're going to get replaced, what you should be doing, bitches, taking money and stashing it, bitch. And whenever he replaces you, girl, go get your pussy. You know what I mean? Go get it. It's and then move on. But while things are good, bitch, just rat it out. I mean, girl, because anyway, she went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth with this whole thing. Gets to the end of it, and she went, and last we saw, Electra was signing the papers, baby. She gonna go get her operation. So she chose. You made your choice. You made your choice. You're going to go get your coochie. You're going to lose your man. And I'm here to see what's going to be next. What you going to do now, Electra? What you going to do? You want to go get a job? Well, the thing is she can walk. That bitch can walk. But it's going to be a whole different life, baby. All them furs, and you'll be wearing them old ones. Because you just cut your money off, bitch. You cut your money off for your coochie. Hey, it is what it is. And I do understand. I understand both sides of it. I understand. But girl, you're definitely choosing a little bit of hardship because you into a whole different realm now, a whole different thing. And he was basically like you lucked out and ended up with him as a John, and I don't know where that's going to go. So whatever. And that was, there's layers to that shit. One, you're a chick with a dick. She's black. He's Italian. I'm like, girl, this is a whole, like, he's like really breaking all the rules and moving the shit. He's moving the chess pieces around, bitch. And it's all in your favor, bitch. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, he is really jumping barriers that exist all about being with you. And you're like, child, no, I need this dick going, honey. I don't know. It's interesting, but it's going to be interesting to see where this actually goes with Electra. But it was good to actually see Electra. And then we saw another scene. Electra, she was doing, where you see she was really jealous. We see this new trans girl that got introduced to us, baby, Miss Aphrodite Extravaganza. Baby! Miss Electra had walked the category, honey. Femme Queen realness, honey. Overall realness. And Miss Electra was stomping it like she usually does, baby. Miss Aphrodite said, "Oh, where have you been, bitch? Where have you been?" And that bitch said, "I've been to Bangkok." Baby, pray tell was like Bangkok. Bang, 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 baby. And the bitch out, the wind came and the bitch's hair was blowing and the bitch had lovely titties and baby dick was gone. Baby, she stormed the floor and shut Miss Electra down. Miss Aphrodite was everything. Everything. I said. And if you know anything about ballroom culture, baby, if you run into an extravaganza, bitch, you ran into somebody. The House of Extravaganza has some of the most beautiful femme queens and some of the most beautiful boy queens that you ever. They are just it just is what it is. You know, and yes, it's very superficial. It is what it is, but they are literally a house of beautiful fucking people. There's like not one. I've never seen one member of the House of Extravaganza that was not fucking gorgeous. It's just part of what their aesthetic is. And baby, Miss Aphrodite Extravaganza, and you gotta say it like that, bitch. Aphrodite Extravaganza. That's what the fuck she looked like. That bitch was everything. I said, work, bitch. Work. Just go, child, Google some of the extravaganzas, honey. Ha! Please. Beautiful baby. But she sat there and she was so cool. Like she wasn't all nasty and she was so cool. She went out and sat with Electra after the ball, and they talked, honey, and Electra's giving her, she was feeling real down on herself and giving, girl, you've bypassed me, and this, and Aphrodite she was giving Electra her flowers. She's like, bitch, bypassed you. She said, girl, that could never happen, bitch. You are a legend. She's like, bitch, you are what we pattern ourselves after. I ain't bypassed you, girl. I'm in a different place than you, but Miss Thing, I could never bypass you, bitch, because you're the originator. You're the original shit, bitch. So don't ever forget that. I was like, work, bitch. Work. And that's something you don't see a whole lot of that type of homage payment in the ballroom, baby. Nobody be that, that transparent. But I thought it was just flawless. I lived for the scene. I really did. But just seeing the two of them sitting there together, I was like, two bad fucking bitches. And they were. Bad bitches. This is what I'm talking about. Ryan and Janet Mock, y'all got the shit right. This is the shit that you don't see on TV. You see the fucking clowns and the botch jobs that we have in our community. You don't get to see our girls that are fierce. You know what I mean? You don't see the Carmens and the Maddies and the goddamn Electras and the Aphrodites. And you don't see them. They don't want to show you them. They want, when they say drag, or they want to go throw up Divine, which we love Divine and Lady Bunny. And, and we love them. We love them. And they are definitely, we need them for what we do. But they are more of the costume and the slapstick and the drag. That's what they always throw out there mainstream. Just like the boys always fuss about, it's always us, that they throw out there. The real feminine boys, they throw us out there in the front, and you don't see, the more masculine boys being shown. It's a thing, you know what I mean? It's a thing, and we know what it is. It's shade. It's shade. It is. We want to show you what we deem to be the worst part of this community. We ain't trying to show you the good part of the community. They ain't trying to show you the part that they steal from. Now catch them teas. They ain't gonna tell you the part that they stealing from, bitch. Anyway, moving on, because we're gonna go into some other shit. That's another video for another time. Anyway, moving on. So I was living for that whole scene. And I died, honey, when Electra's her John, her old man, told her, baby, he asked her, he said, so what are you going to do? When's the last time you did anything on your own, penthouse princess. I said, not the penthouse princess, baby. Yes. And that's exactly what she is, the penthouse princess. Because that bitch has a penthouse. She has a penthouse. She doesn't live in that house with her kids. She has that house, but she doesn't live in that house with them. That bitch lives in the penthouse. It's Electra, bitch. If you don't go sit down. Okay, so other person I was talking about was Angel. Angel is going to fuck herself up with the bullshit. She is about driving Stan out of his mind. She's going back and forth. She's got this whole little thing going on. She really wants body too. And she is herself convinced, and the man done told her 22 different ways, bitch, you're wrong. You're wrong. It's not right. She's convinced that Stan is more attracted to his wife than he is to her. And there's no comparison. Stan is attracted to his wife and he's attracted to Angel. And there is no comparison. He loves them both. And it happens. Yes, you can be in love with more than one person, especially if they're both different. A bisexual man or woman can definitely be completely engaged with one of each because they are different. They are not the same. They don't have anything in common. One thing is one thing and it satisfies one thing and the other satisfies another. That is why it is called bisexuality. So yes, you can be totally engaged with both. Now, is it right? No. Is it fair? No. It's not fair to the two people involved, but mentally and physically, yes, you can be totally engaged with the two things at one time and be feeling as though you living your best life, because you are. At that point, you are living your best life. You know? Now, other people, yeah, when they know about each other, they could definitely get hurt in the process. But for that bisexual individual, they're living their best life. And with them, you hear a lot about bisexuals say a lot of times, you know, when I'm dealing with one, I'm not going to deal with the other. And that's just because of what society says is correct. Because as far as monogamy goes, you're not supposed to be with more than one person at a time. But that's why there's polygamy and all kind of other little stuff. There's other things that go on. Monogamy is not the only thing that goes on. So I promise you, and I will put money on it. A true live bisexual male or female can definitely be in love, engaged, and fully immersed in one of each sex. And for them, feel as though they are living their best life. I promise you. And I will put money on it. Today, tomorrow, and the next day, I will put money on it. Anyway, go ahead, challenge me or tell me if you agree. Leave it in the comments. Anyway, so Angel's going through all this. And she's taking Stan down this whole thing. And then Stan ends up in turn telling his whole story. Basically about how he ran into she-males and what they were and then he figured out that it was something that was interesting to him. And I figured this would actually really straighten things up when he talked to Angel, but it just made it worse. This crazy bitch starts snapping out, and then she literally put him out of her apartment that he pays for. Get out of my apartment. Really, bitch? Miss Angel, girl, you keep on. You're going to be back on the corner and back in the back of the goddamn bookstore, bitch. But she's telling him, you know, she said, you couldn't even get hard the other day. And then you reached around there and you touched me. And then you were hard as a rock. Yeah, because he likes a chick with a dick. And she's like, I told you. He said, I knew you liked it. She said, I didn't like it. I told you I don't like that. See, she's one of those girls. She is totally over it. She don't want it. She don't want to identify with it. She don't want nobody touching it. She wants it gone. She wants it gone. But he is attracted to it. He just hasn't been able to come out and say out of his mouth. He is exactly the same type of man that Electra has. He wants it there. And he's just working his way up to being comfortable enough to start messing with it, baby. And he does not consider himself gay. He don't consider himself gay. He don't want to lay with Damon. Like, he wouldn't even look at Damon. And I know men like this. He would not even look at Damon. He wouldn't. He wouldn't look at Damon. And if Angel wasn't girl Angel when she was boy Angel, he wouldn't have looked at her. He likes a chick with a dick. It just is what it is. And he's literally learning and opening himself up to what his wants and his desires actually are. He just got around to that, and he felt comfortable enough to grab her little staff, honey, and playing with her candy, honey, and then he took her and tore her little cuckoo up, honey, because he was like all happy at that point. He wasn't being satisfied. That's why it wouldn't get hard. And she was having a hard time getting it hard. He's like, child, it was a whole mess. She ended up putting him out. I said, Miss Angel, you're going to drive your man away, girl, with that dumb shit, honey. Girl, you better sit down, honey. You and Electra need to sit y'all's ass down. Okay, so anyway, last thing we're going to talk about is Damon. Damon got sick. He's in the midst of, when he's at school, everything's like back in order at school. Helena has, the teacher, Helena, has actually, she's eased off of him and he's doing really well. So he's right back in her good graces. He wanted to actually, he wanted a spot in this showcase. And the showcase is reserved for seniors. And Damon is a junior. And she's like, that stuff is for seniors, this, that, and the other. And he's like, I'm just as good as or better than most of them. This, that, you don't talk this shit. She said, you need to learn humility. You know, you still have technique you need to learn. And she said, but that's fine, because I'm going to put it all to the test when I give you this spot. And he was so happy. So she allowed him to be a part of this workshop showcase. And he's working on it, and he gets sick, like a flu. And he's running 102 fever. It was over a few days, you know, and then we see him with Blanca, and Blanca gets to question him about him and good old Ricky. And he tells her, why are you asking me all of these personal questions? And again, it's that whole mother-son dynamic. He's very uncomfortable talking to Blanca. And he did divulge to her that one time they were having sex and the condom came off. And she, you know, she fussed a little bit, and he went on, and he's like, leave me alone, you know. So then Angel had come through the one day. You know, Blanca was doing whatever Blanca was doing, and Angel came through she told mother told me to make sure that you eat. And she's feeding him this soup, and I'm like, oh, look at the sister and brother, honey. I was like, oh, I was so touched. I was like, oh, look at him. But he felt comfortable to talk to Blanca. Not Blanca, I'm sorry, to Angel. And he did speak to Angel. And he talked about things, and Angel was explaining to him, this is why. Because he said, why is she asking me those questions? And he told him, this is why. You know, because this is some of what happens if you're infected with the virus. You'll get like a bad cold, and the next thing you know, you're all in it. So that's why she's asking. She's trying to figure out what you need to know what's going on. So after this, we end up seeing Ricky and Damon having this conversation, baby, and they were going at it. You hear me? And Blanca overheard. She was out in the hall. She overheard everything. And it was more than one time that they have done it without the condom, child. I believe that, yes, one time it slipped off, and after that, Damon figured out that it feels better with the condom off, and they continued on, baby. He was tearing him up with no condom. And then he finally asks him, you know, he's like, I don't have AIDS. And then he says, have you been tested? He's like, I've never been tested. He's like, how the fuck you know you ain't got AIDS? You ain't, boy. Anyway, then he comes out with, well, how many people have you slept with, baby? When that damn Ricky said, I don't know, maybe 50. That damn boy, that goddamn Damon took and pushed him in his chest like 50. I said, all the questions you should have asked before you opened up your cheeks, honey. Dummy. Not listening. Blanca sat and talked to kids. Honey, they don't listen. They don't listen. They listen to stupid motherfuckers in the street. Ricky. You listening to him, and he ain't saying nothing. He's saying, I'm just going to put the top of it in there and just hold your breath, and you're going to be all right, and just ease into it. Everything but what you need to know. Oh, yeah, I done did this shit. I done fucked 50 other people. I know what I'm doing because I done fucked 50 other of your friends, honey. Just ridiculous. But anyway, so Blanca ends up having a conversation with Pray Tell. And, she's like so frustrated with Damon and how he don't want to get tested. He's scared to get tested and all of this. And she's like, I need this to happen. I need them to be, I can't have this, you know? So that's when Pray Tell ends up saying to her, I haven't been tested. I stopped getting tested because it's sometimes better to deal with the monster that you know rather than the monster that you don't know. And again, I understand what he's saying, but that's not right, Pray Tell. And then you're sitting in a position where you shouldn't even be. You know what I mean? You got to practice what you preach. And he realized he wasn't. So a little after that, we see Pray Tell sit down, and he sits down with all the boys. He takes all the boys. He has Poppy, he has Damon, and he has Ricky. And they say, listen, this is what we're going to do. We all going to go together because it's scary. We're going to all go together. We're going to all get tested. And they're like, oh, Poppy, you don't need to go, because you're straight. You don't need to go to get tested. And Poppy's like, yes, I do. It's like, it's not just gay people who actually get infected. He's like, and also, he said, back in the day when I first came, he's like, he said, I definitely like girls. I definitely prefer the girls. But there's a few times when I let boys, blurp the bird, honey, to get money and stuff. So I need to go get tested too. I was like, well, all right for Poppy being honest with his fine self. I love Poppy. But so they all went together and they all got tested. And thank goodness everybody came out. They all came out HIV negative, except for Pray Tell. Pray Tell was positive. And we had to watch him. And oh my God. Billy Porter. Baby, you are an acting ass. You know that? Billy Porter shut the scene down so severely. Do you hear me? He is Pray Tell. I can't even imagine that anybody else could have actually played Pray Tell. I sat and thought about that one day. Who else could have actually played Pray Tell in this movie? And I swear to God, I don't think anybody else could have played this role other than Billy Porter. He shut that scene down so severely. It was sickening. I was in tears. But he played the hell out of that scene. And he said, I got to get myself together. Because I got to be there for these boys. This is what he told the doctor. She's like, okay. He told her, can you step out and give me a minute? He pulled himself together, baby. Went out there and he told her, like, oh, we're good. We're all good. And he lied to them, which is what I felt like he should have done at the time. And some people may disagree with me, but I don't think it was time. He's not totally settled with it yet. So no, I don't think that was the time to share that with those boys. So I definitely agree with what he did. He told them he was negative as well. He took them out to celebrate, and then he went and he talked to Blanca, and he told the truth to Blanca because Blanca could handle it. And then Blanca in turn helped him with his realization about what it actually is and what's going to go on. So his whole thing is like, oh my God, so now I'm going to just wither away. I'm going to be in the hospital and people are not going to give me my food, this, that, thing, the other. And Blanca's like, oh no, baby, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen at all because you and I are going to take care of each other. Neither one of us is getting ready to have that bullshit going on. And I was all in. So this is why I say, if you ever, it's the funny part, Pray Tell is really the commentator and he's kind of like an overseer of everybody, but he really is like officially like the father of the house of Evangelista. He really is. He sits in that father role, which is so funny because that's ended up how it's so funny how when I did my house, when I created the House of Treasure didn't have a father. It just had a mother. It was just me and my children. And one of the members, which happened to be my best friend, I call my brother my best friend, he was a child of the house. He was one of my children. And I was basically the mother of the house, so I was his house mother. But we're always been equals. We've always been, and not that I'm above the other ones. Well, and socially in that, it's like I'm mother and they're my kids. But y'all understand that. Doesn't mean that I'm better than them. But he and I were like equals. He never really fit in with the other kids. He always did the work of gathering them and making sure they were okay. He did the same things I did. And one day I said, you know what? I don't even know why we're doing this. When we were having a meeting, I was like, this is what's actually getting ready to happen here. Chet is actually getting ready to be you all's house father because that's who he is. That's the role he's actually been taking this whole time. And that is how Chet actually became the father of the house of Treasure. And so it was what it is. That's how we ended up, with the house fully realized. So yeah, there is a father of the house of Treasure as well. But anyway, okay, so again, we're off topic. But that's it. We're at the end of the review. This was another excellent episode. Excellent episode. And I know there's been some rumble in the jungle about something about the ratings. The ratings not being where people thought that they should be for this show. Don't worry, children. Don't worry. I have total faith in FX and in Ryan Murphy that this is going to be fine. We're going to be fine. The show's not going anywhere. We're going to be fine. Keep watching. Tell someone else to watch Pose. Take these reviews, and I never ask you all generally to share, but share this review. Honey, share the review so other people can see that it's very interesting if maybe they've not heard of it. We need to do all that we can do as well to help keep this show on. This show needs to be on. But I have total faith in it. So that's it. I'm done. I'm done for now. And look, and I'm not going to separate the video into two because it's already 45 minutes. I'm not going to separate. I'm going to leave it in its entirety. Hopefully you all have watched to the end. We're going to test y'all and see what y'all say. But anyway, all right, you guys, I love you, and I will see you soon. Next week, actually. All right, bye.